Hello, everyone, and welcome to What's Up, Inland Empire. I'm Jessica Q, your hostess with the mostest, and every week we're bringing you guys some really cool people from the Inland Empire doing amazing things, events, businesses, and today I'm really excited about today's guest because he is an expert in artificial intelligence, and I'm sure you've been hearing about AI, and some people are freaked out about it, some are excited about it, but Naja Faysal, also known as Neo, is here today with me. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming out and, coming to talk about artificial intelligence. So let's just jump right into this because I know this episode is probably going to be a little bit longer than the others. Can you give everybody a background? Because you live in San Bernardino. You go to Cal State San Bernardino, right? So you go there and you work there.
Yes.
But give everybody like a little bit of history
for sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you.
And so basically, I've had a 15-year career before I moved here to the US. I started with advertising.
Love it.
And I learned at the hands of the best, Leo Burnett, big international advertising agency. And then I was the digital guy, right? So very quickly I knew that I really love technology, even if I was in the advertising domain, but I was really in the technology things. At the time, I don't want to sound too old, but at the time, social media was just starting out, and nobody.
Now I know how old you are. No.
And nobody in that agency knew anything about social media and how to leverage it. So I was the digital dude who everybody was coming to kind of know what's up with tech. And I started learning more, for example, I had this degree that I got, e-commerce and e-marketing, commerce and stuff. And then very quickly I become known as the digital marketer within the advertising sphere. Fast forward, climbed the ladder in the advertising industry, got my first client-based job as a chief marketing officer for a big firm. And then very quickly I started noticing that, it's all about the data now. So whenever there's any campaign or whenever you want to do a proper marketing strategy, you have to rely on data. And now I got more and more interested in that field, even on another level, which is the data science level. And also there was a period of time where I was my learning curve has started to plummet. I have started to slow down.
Okay.
And I wanted to have a boost, and then COVID happens, and I was that's the right time to pivot and try to venture into data science and artificial intelligence.
Something new, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And there's there's a very strong correlation between data science and marketing. Actually, I would argue that there's a correlation between data science and pretty much all fields. Okay. Because today we are in this age of everything is about data.
That's so true.
Yeah. And then this is the professional aspect of how I transitioned or kind of got into tech. But there's also a spiritual aspect that I really like to talk about as well.
Yeah, please do.
And this is about my fascination with the idea of creating a thinking machine, creating a machine that would actually become a global brain for humanity. Imagine there's one brain that kind of brings together all the intellectual production of human beings across all the years that we've been alive. And then hopefully with this machine intelligence, we can reach a new height in discovery, especially when it comes to the mystery of life itself, and how and why we exist, and the whole it will also help us uncover the mysteries of the universe. And that's kind of the spiritual side, not the religious side, but the spiritual side of me trying to see it would be fun to really discover in our lifetime why do we exist and what is life and what is the meaning of life, really.
Yes. Now, are you suggesting that we could ask the AI where life came from? Like, have you done that before?
I tried, of course. Of course, there's a lot of guards right now on what, let's say, ChatGPT is allowed to respond, especially when it comes to religious sensitive matters like this. But I think, in the long haul, right? Like in the long run, AI is always going to be better, and yeah, I hope that it will help us discover a lot of new feats in terms of our existence.
That's amazing. Wow. Okay. You guys just get ready. You're going to be blown away with all the details he's going to share with us today. So let's talk about what are some of the latest developments in AI that you find most exciting?
Yeah, I mean, we've just talked about ChatGPT, right? So this is the latest. And it's funny because I've been reading books about artificial intelligence long time ago. And every time I speak between my friends, and they were like, you're talking about science fiction, right? And I was hoping and deep in my heart that we will reach a point in my lifetime that we actually have some sort of powerful artificial general intelligence. And ChatGPT is like the base, the first attempt. And I'm so grateful for OpenAI to actually release this to the public. Because remember, Facebook, Google, all of these big corporations, they already have.
They're using AI. Isn't when you say, Alexa, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
It's, you're asking them a question. That's AI. That's considered AI, right?
And even your social media algorithm, like the way they feed you the posts or the feed is all controlled by like AI.
AI.
But to actually have a free service released to the public that has a general domain knowledge, and it can remember the context of your conversation. So Alexa and Siri will only respond to your prompt, but they will not remember what you said about
yesterday.
Before. Yeah.
Right.
And now the power of ChatGPT is that it can actually remember the context. Not to a great extent. They limit it to, I think, 1,000 words.
Okay.
So it can remember 1,000 words before, but then it starts like hallucinating when you go down.
It hallucinates. Wow. Okay.
But then, but I think, yesterday I attended the GPT-4. So they're starting to release the GPT-4, and then
so this is the next level.
Yeah. So it's only gonna get better. So whoever use ChatGPT, just be ready that it's always gonna be better, and it will recognize and remember more. Right. So imagine everything you have conversation with is start to store them, and it will give you very intimate answers in the future.
I did hear that the knowledge on ChatGPT is only up to 2021. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So anything before that, it doesn't remember or know.
Exactly. So
so if I said, can you write a book about, which you can have ChatGPT write a book for you, about 9/11. It wouldn't know. What do you call it? She, he, it.
It's I don't know. That's one of the big questions. So 9/11, yes, it's a historical event, but tell it to talk about anything that is 2022 or 2023. It probably won't have any context, and this is because the training data set that they have fed is up to 2021, and now we have to talk about so the AI is as good as the data that you feed it. So it's basically a giant. They fed it a giant corpus of the internet data and all what it.
Hopefully not Wikipedia.
I mean,
do you think it did?
Part of it, but
really, because you know how Wikipedia is.
Yeah.
Anybody can go change that, so that's not really.
No. The amount of text data that they have fed the algorithm is enormous. You're talking about big proportion of the entire internet. So all the websites, all the social media, all the books and whatever is available, they just fed it, and it's gonna keep growing. This data set's gonna keep growing.
Okay.
And I think the ultimately what they managed to do is, these algorithms aren't new. So if you look at the machine learning algorithms that are used for ChatGPT, they are not new. They've been there since the 50s and 60s, the beginning of the computer. Of course, they improved them, but I think the reason why it started to work very well right now is because of three things that combined together: large amount of data that we generated as a human being, huge amount of computation power that is becoming very cheap as well. Like the phone that you have has much more computation power than the Apollo mission or like the entire United States government. So you think how cheap it becomes to have computation power. So combine this with large amount of data as well as the strong algorithms, and now we have what is a very superpower AI, and it's going to continue to get better.
Superpower. You say superpower. Yeah, I mean, this is going to change the world really as it gets more out there. I think every day more and more people are learning about it and realizing what it is. And that's kind of how we met.
Yes.
We're hikers, and Neo has a hiking group. I found it on Meetup. What is it called? Do you want to let everybody know?
Coyote Hikers.
And so that's how I met you, and you started talking to me about AI, and I was very intrigued. And I really, I heard a little bit about it here and there, but you were just like so knowledgeable about it. So I'm so excited that you are here today talking about it. But now, real quick, you said the 4. So the 4 is going to be coming out. Do you know exactly what upgrades that will provide the users?
So, of course, we don't know a lot, but all we know is that, like, okay, we are now dealing with GPT-3. So this is what people are subjected to with the ChatGPT. And then GPT-4 is going to come out somewhere, but we don't know exactly when. Or maybe I missed the actual release date of it. But of course, the parameters is going to increase dramatically. We're talking trillions of parameters, and if and then I think the ability to remember more the context is
will be there.
Yeah, as well as trying to be more factual. Because now, again, it's an unsupervised machine learning. So sometimes it produces, and we'll talk about the ethical concerns, because it produces sometimes results that are not factual.
Okay.
But it will act. It will like the ChatGPT will imposter as a professional.
Yeah.
And it's like expert.
It's what an imposter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But then
I could see that, because it's just it. I mean, literally, you put in a question in there, and it'll just start typing for you, and it's amazing, like just how quickly it produces content for you.
Yeah.
Now, this 4, do you think they're going to try to start charging people to use it?
So right now, ChatGPT has a premium version. That's you pay $20 a month, and you get.
So what do you get from the free to the $20 a month?
I mean, they're saying that you like in peak hours when the system is slow, you will get priority. So you have uptime all the time.
So rather than taking 3 seconds, it'll take 1 second to get you the content.
Probably something like that.
Okay.
And I think
it's so fast already.
They would probably start to pump up the computation for every response. So So it's gonna be better quality, faster, as you said, and
better quality and faster,
and guaranteed uptime all the time, despite peak hours.
So you could go with the free, or for $20 more a month, you have the faster and better quality.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Say goodbye to rosacea worries with Marvisol. It has no sulfates, no steroids, and no artificial colors. By applying it once in the morning and once at night, Marvisol will help you get the skin you always dreamt of.
Let's talk about your company, Parrots Lab, and the AI product that you're currently developing.
Yeah. So as soon as ChatGPT was released, I knew that I have to be in that space. I've been a big believer of AI. I'm fascinated by the technology, and I know that I have to be in this space. And the good thing is that when ChatGPT was released, they released also an API. For your untechnical listeners, API is basically the ability of companies to access the engine behind ChatGPT.
Okay.
And then you use it and train it to become specialized in different fields. Like, let's say you have a company website, right? And then you have a lot of information about your products and services. And you want to have a chatbot that's personalized to your company. So you could actually use that engine and train it on your own specific data, so that when customers ask a chat the chatbot that you create from ChatGPT, it will answer very, very specific information about your own product. And that's kind of that's going to be the new wave of people using ChatGPT, or companies in business using ChatGPT to personalize it, to train it on specific data and become an expert AI in different fields.
Okay.
So I knew that I have to be in this space. I can't talk much about the products that we're building. We have a lineup of products that we're
coming soon.
But like one of them, which is the kind of the spiritual side, which I'm passionate to talk about, is to try to create kind of a digital replica of us as humans. Like imagine
like clones.
Kind of like a digital clone.
But a robot? Oh my gosh. I'll take 10.
So and like imagine a human being, right?
Yeah.
From let's talk about like these teenagers today. They start using social media at a very early age. And then fast forward till when they're 70s and 80s. So by this time they generate so much content. So much data about themselves. They share with the world everything they do. They share their thoughts and pictures and videos. And probably if you connect also this data to their journals, the personal journals, or to their emails and the way they chat with people. And now you could collect a vast amount of data about Jessica and about me and about many other people. And then when you pass away, right? So we have trained a model about you that knows so much about you. Probably it knows more about you than yourself.
Wow.
And then if we can have it continue, then you probably not like you continue to chat with your grandparents that have passed away a long time ago, and you could continue to talk to them forever.
Wow,
and
that is going to change the world.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that
you're working on. Mm-hmm. Amazing. Well, there's that movie. Oh my gosh, it's a really old movie. I think it was like Billy Crystal, and he clones himself because he just had so much work and he wanted to be the family, and so he like started cloning himself. But this is like legit. This could really happen, but it's a robot, so it might be even a little bit better because I think his clones they got worse and worse every time. Did you see that movie? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've seen similar movies like Black Mirror. There's some episodes in Black Mirror that talks about this stuff, and actually this is where the inspiration come from. But again, this is no longer science fiction, and
it's real life people.
It's
AI.
So you could start with the training the model today. Yes, probably it will not mimic you properly right now because it doesn't have a lot of data about you. But as we go, this model is going to have improved accuracy that it will, like if I'm chatting to you on WhatsApp, let's say, and then you decided one day that you're tired and you don't want to chat to people, and then you put your AI to chat instead of you.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
And then I could be fooled.
My world will change. There are some days like that, you just want to be, but you need to still get stuff done. It doesn't matter how you feel that day. Like you still need to get stuff done. So if you could get help and you know that it's going to reflect exactly what you would have said anyways.
Exactly.
Why
so I could chat with you and I will be totally fooled that it's you. Like I will not know that it's your AI talking instead.
Wow.
And this is the ultimate.
Okay. Yeah. That's so amazing. Now, I know that this is a concern of many.
Yes.
AI coming in and taking people's jobs. And I remember when I was in elementary school, they would talk about, there's two things they would talk about that I was like, is this really going to happen? One was California was going to be an island. There was going to be a big earthquake and it would be an island. Okay, that was one thing. It was a long time ago. And then I think they still say that now. And then two was that robots were going to take over the world and that, people would lose their jobs because of robots. And this time we had computers, but it was like the computers that, they were like the keyboard was attached to the actual monitor. You know what I mean? The one piece. And it was green. There's no pictures or anything. So, do you think that this is going to affect jobs and the job market? And is this going to cause people to, I don't know, like, tell me, what is your,
So it's a sensitive, topic. I'm an optimist that humans will prevail. I think that every technological wave is gonna misplace some people, make them redundant, and then a new set of jobs will be created. So the same happened, back when the horses retire and we have cars. So they said, oh, all the shoemaker for the horse are gonna be out of job, and yes, they were out of job. But then very soon the car industry become a booming industry. Fast forward till the computers.
And now there's a new job, and then there's a new
a new set of jobs.
Yeah.
And then when computers came out as well, the same thing. Oh, all of these accountants and all of these people, they said, oh, the computers come to replace my job. And then, yes, some people got replaced, right? And some people, but then it created a huge industry of people operating the computers. Actually, all the knowledge workers and the white collar jobs right now are people who are operating computers. But then now AI is going to come. And of course, some of the, content creators, journalists, marketing people, even artists and creative people will kind of like lose their job, or they have to reinvent themselves for the new era.
Reinventing.
Yes.
It's like when the pandemic hit and a lot of businesses had to close, but then immediately you found that there were ways to stay open, right? So, you can do outdoor dining, you can do delivery, or you know what I mean, or online stores. So you start seeing a lot more online stores. So it's just like a transition, and it's an opportunity to evolve. Exactly. I feel like,
that's it. That's exactly the point. And people who resist it are the people who will suffer from the
do not resist.
Yes, okay. People who say, "Oh no, I'm not going to use ChatGPT," or not, "Oh, this AI," or people who try to ban it. I know some companies, and I'm sure that you have a lot of company leaders, friends. Please don't ban it. Like, some companies actually turning off ChatGPT for their employees.
No way. I showed my team. I was like, hey, this is an awesome, feature program that you can use, because you get, like not roadblocks, but you get creative blocks, right? Yes. And so sometimes it's nice. You could just plug in like some stuff and it pops out all these like really creative ideas. Now, does it come out 100% the way that you would just pull it and use it? No. So I see when you're like, oh yeah, it's got a lot, it does definitely have a lot of work that needs to be done to really like fine tune it. But for the most part, it does produce stuff that you probably wouldn't have thought of. And then it allows us to be, a little bit more creative, or when we're, just stuck, to get out of that stuck spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it amplifies our work. It amplifies our production.
Yes.
And that's what I find very exciting.
So it definitely makes you more productive, because instead of sitting and trying to come up with a caption for 30 minutes, now you could just plug it in real quick, like what you're trying to, what you're thinking, and then it'll pull it up in 3 seconds. Yeah. So really amazing. Now, which by the way I'm so grateful for you for showing it to me, because it does help a lot, and I do appreciate that. How do you see, we kind of went over a little bit like AI evolving over the next few years. Is there anything that we didn't get to touch on? Or
yeah, I'm excited about talking about this, because if eventually, so now we have ChatGPT that produces human-like text, but do you know that it also produces code, right?
Code?
Yeah.
Meaning?
So programs, like actual programming.
Like
code.
A software?
Yeah.
No way.
So you tell it, oh, write me a software in Python that produces this, and then it will give it to you, right? And then at the same time, we have AI that produces images by text. So you tell it, give me an image of a teddy bear in space, and it will like actually fabricate it in seconds. It will create an image for you, and then.
So it does images. So it's not just text; it's images as well. But is that it?
So the images is a different product. There's many on the market right now. Okay. So there's the one from OpenAI, which is the DALL-E 2, but there's also Midjourney and Stable Diffusion. There's many others.
Okay.
But I think in the next few years we're gonna see them converge. So you're gonna have one interface, and then this interface, it can produce images, text, code, and video. Right.
And video.
Yeah, because if it can produce an image, what is a video? The video is a collection of images. I mean, if you have the cartoon books when you open them and then
like the flip books. Yes.
So this is a video. So if AI can produce an image, it can produce a video in the future.
Video, wow.
So yeah.
And I do want to point out that your Coyote Hikers logo was actually created by AI, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, you didn't even, you were just like. I mean, how did you do it? You're like, can you tell everybody like what you said?
Yeah, I just went to DALL-E.
I like how you're like, he's typing, air typing.
Give me, give me, I think, a logo for a hiking group called Coyote Hikers. And it understood that coyote, so it had a coyotes.
With the flag, right? Is it the flag?
Coyote man standing behind a mountain and wearing all the hiking gears, which is, in reality, you can never imagine it happening, but it's produced it.
That's so cool. That is really amazing. So let's talk about Singularity Syndicate and what is its mission. So a couple weeks ago, you did a meetup seminar or workshop, right? And so that was your first one. So people, I do want you to know that you can connect with Neo multiple ways, but one of them is this meetup group, which how often are you going to be going on there? And, tell us more about it and the mission.
So Singularity Syndicate is a group or forum or a mastermind, basically, where we come together as community, general people, everyday people. And the idea is to create a more technologically inclusive society so that no one is left behind. Because this is the nature of these technologies are transformative by nature. You just touch on like the jobs that we're going to lose, and we're going to lose a lot of jobs. And I felt that there's a need for a group that kind of educates people like how to stay relevant in this age. So that's basically the mission of this group, is to help people, learn. We have an event every 2 weeks at the moment. I don't know if we're going to increase that. Okay. So every 2 weeks, we're going to have like an online event.
And it's like a 1 hour session. You can do them on Saturdays?
Yeah, usually on Saturdays. So anybody can join us.
It's free.
It's free. So we have like
a lot of great information. Yeah. I tuned in for your last one. It was amazing.
I mean, last time, I didn't expect, but like around 65 people like attended the live one.
Yeah, on Zoom. And you do it Zoom. So you actually have a slides to go through with everybody so they can see exactly what you're talking about. So if you're a visual learner, you're okay. Yeah. It'll be there for you to see and understand better. And then at the end, you host a Q&A.
Correct.
So you can ask any questions. And you are, you're an expert in this. You have been following it. You're staying on top of it. So this is the type of person you want to talk to.
Yeah. And also, like, I'm open to have guests on that show. It's not only about me. So it's more about the mission. And the mission is to help everyday people understand technology, understand how to benefit from it, and how to utilize it for to improve their lives, basically. And that's the main goal. And as you said, like every Saturday is going to be a different topic. We can talk about AI. We're planning to talk about blockchain as well, because there's another transformative technology that's people are not fully aware of as well.
Wait, say that again. What was it?
The blockchain.
Blockchain. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Is that like another new technology that's coming out?
No, it has been for a while. I mean, people know cryptocurrencies.
Oh, yes.
So blockchain is the technology behind cryptocurrency.
Oh.
But the problem is when you talk about blockchain to people, they immediately say, "Oh, it's a cryptocurrency, it's Bitcoin, it's whatever, Ethereum, all of this stuff." But they're missing the point. And the point is the blockchain is the decentralized technology, decentralized ledger, basically. So basically, project like in the future of blockchain, you will not need middlemen for anything. So if you want to send me money, you will send it to me directly on the blockchain. There's no need for a bank to be in the middle to intermediate this process. Okay. If you want to vote for your president or whatever, you don't need government to be in the middle. Like, you could vote on the blockchain, and it's like the most secure way to actually transact between people, because what's happening with the blockchain is that imagine an Excel sheet, right? Mm-hmm. So this Excel sheet it's called the ledger. So every time you want to pay me $5, So in your bank, they're keeping your ledger. So they're keeping, oh, Jessica has given Naja $5, and this will be a record. And then, for me, I received $5. So this is another record for me, right? So, but the bank intermediates it. So you send a request to your bank send a request to my bank updates my ledger, and your ledger is updated and my ledger is updated. The problem is duplications. So your bank keeps your ledger, my bank keeps my ledger, and these ledgers are stored in centralized database at the bank. So if this bank got hacked, and guess what? We have a lot of hacking going around, and every now and then we hear of somebody got hacked. So when people got hacked, when these centralized systems got hacked, whether government or banks or companies or whatever, this database is compromised. So your data is compromised. You could alter it. You could change these records. But on the blockchain, this ledger is distributed across millions and millions of individual computers around the world. And these computers, they call them the miners. Their job is to verify this ledger and make sure that it's not altered. And if any of these nodes or any of these computers that are mining or that are processing this ledger, if any of these got changed or hacked, they will be rejected. So it's kind of a democratic way to make sure that the authenticity of the information is there. That's why when we say it's very, it cannot be hacked because it's distributed. So recently, Buenos Aires, they created a citizen ID based on the blockchain.
Really?
So there's so your ID is not stored in the centralized government. It's stored on the blockchain. And what does this make? This helps in so many ways. First of all, your identity theft and security will become irrelevant. So it's very secure.
Nice.
But number two, once you have a digital identity, you don't need to show your ID, your physical ID, to anybody. Because guess what? When you show your ID, let's say you go to a bar and you show your ID contains your name, your address,
your birthday, everything.
It's so many so much information you're giving out to just a bar. Like, you don't need that.
Yeah.
All the bar wants is to verify your age. So imagine in the new era of the digital ID, you just have a barcode, and you tell what information you want to send to this bar. And then they can 100% verify that your age is correct, and they let you in, but only by giving them exactly the information you want. So there's many benefits for this, and this is a subject for an episode by itself.
Yeah, I feel like that's a whole nother episode, because immediately my mind went to like microchips, and you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, is that the next way of, instead of social security number, it's the chip in your wrist that you scan to go into a place? Or I remember reading in my marketing and advertising class, walking to a store, grabbing what you want and just walking right out, and you have something on you that just scans, and now you pay for everything as you walk out.
Yeah, the Amazon
So
stores.
that's a whole, okay, we'll have to bring you back and do another
sure.
episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Say goodbye to rosacea worries with Marvisol. It has no sulfates, no steroids, and no artificial colors. By applying it once in the morning and once at night, Marvisol will help you get the skin you always dreamt of.
Let's talk about your predictions for the year 2050 and beyond.
Cool. Yeah. So when it comes to the future of civilization, so there's many books that I really enjoyed reading, including a book called Life 3.0, and now I'm reading a book called How to Create a Mind. So basically, they're trying to replicate reverse engineer the human mind. Okay. And I think as we move along in this technological revolution, I would say that we would be constantly connected to oracles. So what will happen is that we become hybrids. I mean, we already kind of have the signs of being hybrid these days, because we cannot live without our phones. our total existence relied on this technology. Without it, we feel lost and completely unproductive and ineffective
Not sure what to
in
do,
society.
yeah.
So this is going to continue to accelerate and amplify, and we will be constantly connected. So we will be having wearable devices or probably implants that will
Implants, yeah.
yeah, I mean, eventually. And these implants we're gonna absorb everything from your surrounding, process it in real time, and then keep feeding you what to do. Like it's gonna be a constant. Like imagine you have a virtual assistant that is constantly in your ears telling you what to do, and then potentially you could log it into your thoughts process. That's another ball game.
Yeah.
But then we will. So we the humans, we have different oracles. Let's say you want to connect to the Meta oracle or OpenAI oracle, whatever. But imagine ChatGPT is constantly in your ear, like every interaction we have, it will tell you, oh, be careful. You can mention this to Jessica. You can mention that, right? So it reminds me. It keeps you at guard. Oh, you're looking at a certain website. It tells you, oh no, be careful. This website is not, safe, right?
Okay.
So we will have a constant reminder, a constant.
Is it in our ears? I mean, like, what do you mean?
It could be like.
I'm getting scared. Stop.
So actually, it's gonna be like. It could be a wearable device. So it could be like, imagine you have a glass.
Yeah.
And this glass, by the end of it, there's an ear chip that can talks to your ear. And nobody can hear it but you.
Okay.
But also this glass has a lot of cameras in it. And actually we're very close
Kind of
to
like
this.
Terminator. Because then you have like the eyes or the, and he would look and he could scan and he would like know who somebody was. Is it kind of like that?
Exactly. Yeah. Like you could meet someone and they could, if they activate their if like once I meet you, the first thing I go, let's check her on LinkedIn, right? To know more about her, right? I could do the same in real time. I meet you for the first time. I don't know you. Facial recognition will recognize your face. It will match your LinkedIn profile. And in my head, I'm knowing all about you. Even as I approach you, as I'm just talking to you. Wow. And this is one way. That's how we're going to be completely connected to these oracles. And we become a hybrid. So we become half human, half machine, and
robot,
we're gonna tap
wow.
into the collective brains and collective knowledge of humanity in the future.
And so you're saying this is like in 2050, like, I mean, that's only like less than 30 years away. So do you think that this is going to be accessible for people of all incomes? Like, I mean, is this going to be, something, or is it for everybody, or you think it's going to be available for everybody? They're going to make it so it's.
Very good question, and that's probably the reason why like Elon Musk and people like him who are like trying to democratize access to AI, because it's a very powerful technology.
Yes.
I'm hoping.
Oh, he's trying to block it? They're trying to block it.
For example, like Google have a very similar product to ChatGPT since 2018. If you remember, there was a popular video about a Google bot. It tried to call a hair salon. And it fooled the people there to think that it's a human, and it wasn't a human. It was just a bot trying to book an appointment. It booked it perfectly well with like humor and everything. So this technology is not new, but these corporates are sitting on it, and they're keeping it for themselves. And that's why I'm so excited about OpenAI actually opening it up, because now we as general population, we have an access to this. And that's the most exciting part.
That is very exciting.
Yeah.
That is so amazing. Wow. I mean, we could probably sit here for hours and hours and hours. So definitely, I'm going to bring you back. So I know I had a lot more questions, but we'll bring you back so we can ask more questions, and maybe we can touch on something a little different but similar. But thank you so much for being here. And can you let everybody know how they can connect with you? How if they have questions, they want to join your hiking group, or they want to join the Singularity Syndicate. How do they do it?
So I I think I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelming myself with a lot of things on my plate. So, I have the hiking group, the Coyote Hikers on Meetup. I have also a chess club. Sorry, I'm nerd. And then I also have the Singularity Syndicate. And these are like the part of my efforts of building communities around my interest. And people who share this interest are welcome to join me on meetup.com. And then if you need links to all of these, you go to my personal website, najafaysal.com. That's NajaFaysal.com. And there you could have like all the links to my social media as well, on the links to Coyote Hikers and Chess Circle, as well as the Singularity Syndicate, and stay up to date with my company, which I'm looking for co-founders right now. I'm looking for also investors. And so if you're, as a listener, you're interested in like having a conversation about AI and how to like leverage this technology to build impact-driven businesses, because that's where my goal is, to have impact-driven entrepreneurship. So I'm looking for people to collaborate with. And if you're a listener who works in these big tech companies, I could and have interesting project. I mean, I could also help out, be a product manager or something. So I'm still exploring what my future is gonna be. But in the meantime, I want to be useful to society. I want to be useful to the rest of humanity, and if I'm able to share what I know. And by the way, like, I only know a little. Compared, like, every time I think one thing I know is that I know nothing, as
you think that we're looking at like, oh my gosh, wow,
but
we're still trying to soak all this in right now. But that's amazing. You're so knowledgeable, and we know you're gonna get more knowledgeable. And so thank you again. Thank you so much for coming out. And you guys know how to connect with Neo, Naja. And yes, thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. Bye.